or so on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Schenectady Today, in and around the Capital Region, and we're so happy you're joining us today. We've got a jam-packed show today, lots of great information. Let me tell you what we're starting out with. We're starting out with the Schenectady Civic Players. We're going to talk about Change Your Mind Day over in Albany. Then we're going to talk about the Kids Art Festival, which is going to be here in Schenectady. Then we're talking about the Musicians of Malwick. Their big event will be in Glenville. And then we're talking about the Circle Theater Players. They're out in Averill Park. We'll be talking about that. And then we have a great demonstration from Mad Science of the Capital District. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and join us for these great guests that we have. And we're starting right out with, next to me is Christine Lafredo. And we have Mark Stevens, who is an actor, and you are an amazing actor, too, and director. You do it all, right?
Well,
so tell me, what's going on?
Well, we're having a fundraiser in June, and one night only, so, you know, you better get there. It's a show, a one-man show. I'm the one man, and it's about an actor, an unemployed actor, of course. Who else would it be about? And he gets—
Aren't they all?
Well, they hope not. And he gets a job working in Barbra Streisand's basement mall. And so the whole premise is he's having this dynamic with Barbara, and I am Barbara, and I'm me.
You're playing both parts?
Oh, and many more. There's 5, 6, 8. Christine tells me, like, oh, you're 12 different people. Yeah. So lots going on.
Cool,
it's a fun comedy. A lot of lines, a lot of words, but we're having a good time.
And you're doing the whole show?
Yes.
A one-man show?
Absolutely.
Well, you did Elf. I remember when
yes,
you did
Santa
Elf.
Land Diaries.
Yeah,
yes,
that was
a lot of fun.
So much fun to watch that as well. And you've been on the stage, I know, a number of other things. So, Christine, what are you up to now?
Well, I'm actually directing this show.
Okay.
So this is actually my first main stage directorial debut. So I'm very excited, and I love working with Mark. He's amazing. So it's kind of
so
makes
talented,
my job very easy. You know, I'm on the fundraising committee, and this is one of our fundraisers for the Playhouse, Schenectady Civic. And it's
when is it, so that people get their tickets?
June 8th.
Okay.
The show is at 8 p.m., but we start at 7 p.m. with a nice cocktail and hors d'oeuvre reception. And then the show goes up at 8, and it's going to be hysterically funny.
Okay, well, we got to get everybody there, and I hope that I'm available to be
Absolutely.
there as well,
Yes.
because it should be fun. So I know we're kind of squeezing you in, but Mark, break a leg.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
Literally.
Yeah,
yeah I know what the term
figuratively,
means. Yes.
figuratively, of course. No, that isn't really what it means when you say break a leg. It has to do with the curtains.
Yes,
yeah,
getting paid is actually what it means.
actually, good. Okay, good. Is he getting paid? No.
Out of my pocket, probably. That's about the only place he's getting paid in our volunteer jobs.
Okay, thank you both for being here today, and I hope that you have a great success, because we've been around 90 years, and what an amazing theater that is. Yes. I love it very dearly.
Thank you so much.
And you have an elevator, too.
We do. We have an elevator.
I'll ride it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to
us.
sit right down, and I'm not going to write myself a letter, but I'm going to sit right down. And I'm going to be talking to our next guests, which have been seated here patiently. And we're going to be talking about Change Your Mind Day. Should we be changing our mind? I'm not sure. Oded is one of the instructors. You do Qigong, and what are you going to be doing for this one?
Well, I'm going to be doing Qigong, surprisingly enough.
Whoa.
And, but I think that probably I would let Karen speak first, because
we're going to be talking to the two organizers. Yeah, you're sitting next to me, so I had to address him as well. So Karen Beadle, you are a coordinator, organizer of this, as with Victor Anderson as well. So what brings you to come up with a Change Your Mind Day? And and you also talk about mindfulness. So let's talk about that, Karen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about Change Your Mind Day. The concept was instituted by Tricycle Magazine, which is a Buddhist magazine.
Okay.
Back in the 80s. And the original Change Your Mind Day was in Central Park. And
really?
the open air environment, the idea was to bring together Buddhist practitioners, people practicing mindfulness, and to just have a wide array of contemplative practices for people to wander in and experience. And so communities around the country were doing that on and off through the 80s and 90s. And we just seized it last year and said, let's bring all the local Buddhist practitioners and mindfulness people together. And
there's a large community of Buddhists.
Large community, and it can feel very disparate. And it's very nice for us, those of us in it, to see each other and network and to go to each other's workshops and to just get a sense that we're really a big community here in the Capital Region.
Right. And
so,
what does what are you talking about? Being more centered? Is that what mindfulness means?
Mindfulness is present moment attention without judgment and with awareness.
Okay.
And that it ends up being a very powerful state of the mind and body that's restorative. So it's a restorative practice. It's also a spiritual practice. I'm a mindfulness-based stress reduction instructor, so I'm mostly doing a secular version of mindfulness to really help people with health conditions or anxiety to kind of refine themselves again. So many people feel like their bodies are lagging, like a few steps behind where the mind is. And these are really integrative practices to bring the body and mind together.
And Victor, what brings you here?
Just my depth of commitment.
I mean, to mindfulness, not here.
To mindfulness,
Yeah.
I've been meditating since I was young.
You're talking TM?
It's more Southeast Asia, just a plain type of watching your breath and then generating loving kindness for people. Bare bones sort of practice.
Okay.
And it just helped me enormously through my 20s, you know, the difficult 20s. So I've been meditating for a long time, and when I got more mature in my 40s, I realized I had some ways to go, and my practice was a bit sluggish. So I took intensive breathwork training. So I'm going to be bringing a breath workshop to help people who
practice. Is that like deep breathing? Is that what you're...
A lot of deep breathing, yes.
Deep breathing, yeah.
Deep breathing,
more oxygen into the...
More oxygen. It's like a wonderful support, because when you sit down to be quiet...
I'm a shallow breather. Terribly shallow.
And
I mean, I'm not a shallow person, but I'm a shallow breather.
Okay. So yeah, it's nice to open up the lungs, and if you have a lot of air in you, when you sit down to be quiet, it percolates around and makes you feel better, so sitting is easier, because sitting can be difficult for some people. So yeah, I'm a part of coordinating the team here, and I was there last year, and I just wanted to say the mixture of these Buddhist and non-Buddhist traditions, and some energy work, some Qigong, and breath work, and maybe some sacred dancing, but mostly focused on mindfulness and being aware. It's really exciting. And last year it was a very alive environment. People were chatting and happy and just feeling enlivened.
We had tons of people.
Okay, now this is going to be held at the Universalist
Unitarian
Society.
Universalist Church
in
Albany, 405 Washington, and Park on the Street. But yeah, we have the whole church pretty well to ourselves for that Saturday afternoon.
So you have like workshops, or I mean, is this like like 10 things going on at the same time?
10 things going on at the same time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're going to have some contemplative art. We're going to have some Buddhism 101, so people can learn some traditional practices, and then we're going to have simultaneously 4 or 5 workshops.
Okay, and what ages are you gearing this towards?
It's an adult program. We decided not to invest in a children's program this year, but we would love to expand there next year in case there's anyone out there who'd like to be part of that.
And how many leaders do you have for the different workshops that you...
Well, we have...
I mean, how many things will be going on is what I'm trying to say.
Probably have,
granted, not all at the same time.
Yeah, we probably have 20 community presenters involved in this.
Good.
Yeah.
And
I'll just
go ahead.
I'm in charge of food as well, and Honest Weight Food Co-op is going to supply the food very graciously, and maybe they'll have a table as well.
Yeah, and we're talking not your mind, body, and soul. It's kind of like you really have to nurture all of those. And how does Qigong fit into this?
Well, I participated in this event last year for the first time, and to me, Change Your Mind Day, it's like a spiritual salad bar. You can pick whatever you want, you can take more of what you like more, and you can, stay away from what you don't like as much. And although the roots are originally in Buddhism, it is now at a point where there's so much more than Buddhism there. And to me, the title Change Your Mind Day says at least 2 things. One is for a person to change their mind about what spirituality potentially is.
Or means to them.
To them, of course. And the other is that these practices physically change the brain. So these two things are kind of you know, something to think about. And Qigong is one of these practices where just by doing, connecting with the body and connecting with the experience of energy, which again, many people find this lingo a bit off their place.
New age.
Yes.
New agey.
but people don't realize that qi, which in English I would probably translate to life force, is something that's here and now within us, around us. It's here. You cannot avoid it. Nothing that exists unless it has qi in it. And whenever you just clench your fist like this, and then you open them and you feel that tingling, that's qi. So it's not like you have to be a Buddhist on the top of a mountain to you know, practicing for 20 years before you know what qi is.
With the enlightenment up on the top
That's
of the
right.
mountain.
You don't need to.
I know that when we talked about meditation, I practice TM, and I know part of that is clenching and you know, kind of getting your muscles tensed and relaxed. And it does do something for you, and it does kind of rejuvenate the body in such a short time, really.
And takes down the stress level.
It does. It does.
Yeah, recent studies of mindfulness meditation show changes in cortisol level, respiration within minutes of meditation.
It does.
It's really powerful.
It's interesting that you say that, because I had to have surgery, and I did my TM while I was on the
Great.
table. And it was funny because the doctor said to me, "Are you doing something?" And I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, because your blood pressure's dropping." And I said, "Well, yeah." I says, "Actually, yeah." So it does cause a lot of physical changes in your body to the good.
Yep.
To the good. So I would see this day as being open to anyone that wants to facilitate a change in their body and mind. You talk about mindfulness because we have to think about what we're doing before we can do it. You know, whether it's qi or whatever it is, you have to think first, and that's where your mind comes in.
Or let go of your thoughts.
Yeah. That's true.
It's a wide open public offering for people to come and taste the different
And there's no fee, but you take donations, of course.
Yeah, it's free, and donation if people feel they want to.
Yeah. So, and when is this one more time?
June 9th.
June 9th.
And it starts at 1 to 6, so it's just an afternoon.
Okay, good. So it sounds like a wonderful event. And
1 to
I
6,
will
June
try to
9th.
get over there if I can possibly make it.
That would be great.
Because it's always good to kind of reinforce the things that keep you centered and keep you more at peace. And of course, the Buddhists, I've been to Buddhist temples in China and talked to the monks there and stuff, and they're very amazing people. So.
And I think that this is a great event for people who actually have very little knowledge / background / experience in any of those things.
Yeah, a taste.
And just want to see what it's all about without committing to anything. You know, it's anonymous.
It's
you don't have to.
They'll get a morsel.
Yep.
Yeah,
A morsel.
that's
right.
good.
Okay, and thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being here,
Thank you.
because
Thank you
I
for
think
having
what you're
us.
doing is a wonderful thing. We need more of this in our lives. There's so much stress on whether it's television or the newspaper or whatever.
So much
And I read that the stress levels are going up in people, the dissatisfaction, the uncertainty, and I think it's this climate that we're living in. And so what you're doing is amazing, because you're getting people to think more introspective and kind of getting their
It's an antidote.
Yeah, I love that word. Thank you so much, Victor. That was a great word. Karen, thank you for being here
thank
as well.
you.
I know, Dad, it's always a pleasure to see
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you for having us.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the annual Kids Festival. Talk about a great event. That's a great one for the kids. You're not doing kids, but they are. So stay tuned.
Well, I'm going to try to do a little something for the little guys out here. Sunshine in my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. If I had a day.
And that was Mike Purcell. Mike comes every year, well, he has in the recent years to the Kids Art Festival, and we love it. And I actually am a guest as well because I'm on the committee. But Betsy Sandberg, she is the chair of this dynamic committee, and so is Colleen Muris. And you've done tables, and you do everything too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this year, to help out, I'm going to be sort of running around being Betsy's right arm or left arm or.
No, well, actually, one of the many new things we have this year is a talent show, Poetry Slam.
Yes.
And Colleen's going to be running that.
Yeah, in the afternoon. So if kids want to sign up, it's more like kind of like a open mic.
Yes,
For a little
exactly.
while, and we have the county stage with us. So
Yes.
So get your hair back off your mic.
Yes,
Okay,
we
good.
have 2 stages this year, as well as street entertainment. So we'll have twice the entertainment, thanks to wonderful sponsors like the Downtown
We got
Schenectady
great,
Improvement.
and of course you're the assistant director of
Yes,
that.
yes.
So, yeah.
MVP Healthcare, Stewart's, the Schenectady County Legislature. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. And I know I'm going to forget somebody here.
Well.
But, you know, we have a flyer, we have
Get
a
a
website.
flyer, it's all on the flyer.
We have a website, and all of our more than 50 activities. Nope, they're not all up there yet.
Nope, they're not all up there.
Because Capital District Y hasn't told me what they're doing yet.
Okay, and
Yep.
of course you got the ESAM is coming too.
Oh.
With the plane, and I don't know if they're bringing a plane, but
Yeah,
I know I saw
yeah,
Kevin.
yeah.
And
Kevin
you can climb,
Millington.
the kids can climb in, and
Yes,
then you have, the Sheriff's Department with the Safe Child IDs,
And
which
you
is
do,
always great.
That's so much fun.
And it is rain or shine, because if it does rain, we will be inside Proctor's this year,
Absolutely.
not inside City Hall. So
Yes.
whether it rains or whether it shines,
We're doing it.
But we're crossing
We're
our fingers
doing
for yeah.
It's June 2nd, noon to 4. One of the many, we have wonderful sponsors, and this year, Darn Good Yarn.
Darn good yarn. She is
They-
amazing,
Isn't she?
Yep.
So they had a number of saris not built to spec.
Right.
And she said to me, what can we do with these? And I said, well, we need, because we got this wonderful grant from the New York State Arts Council to run a poetry workshop and lyricists, and it's just fabulous.
that's
yeah, so
great.
but we have to survey people. And so we said, well, what about anybody who fills out a survey gets a sari?
Sorry.
And we're calling it Who's Sorry Now?
S-A-R-I.
Yes, we have wonderful, wonderful saris that anybody who fills out a sari, they're
look at
different
those. Aren't they
lengths.
beautiful?
And that's, I was wondering, you know, Anne, would you and Colleen, I've got several different ones. And then
this
the
one's
other
even
thing is,
multi-tiered.
yes, they're two-sided. They're colored
This
on
is
both.
amazing.
And they are. They're wonderful, wonderful fabrics.
This is amazing.
Look at the A, and they're two-sided. You can wear them either way. So come to Kids Arts Festival, fill out the survey, and you
Look
can
at
get a
those.
sari.
Isn't that amazing?
And you know what? If you don't want to, for men, use it as a tablecloth. Use it as a curtain. Whatever.
You can use it as almost anything you want it to be.
Right.
I love these.
I know.
How
Good.
are they worn normally?
That's another whole segment.
That's another
All
segment.
right. Because the other thing, so League of Women Voters is going to run the wonderful voting activity again. And this year we're going to, kids who fill that out are going to get a highlights.
Oh, the Highlight magazine.
Yes, we have a number of those.
But it's also a good beach cover up.
And then we have Azetta Jewel Project. Do you know about Azetta Jewel?
No, I don't.
You've got to have Ann Rockwood on your show.
Okay,
because
let's do it.
Azetta Jewel was a commissioner in the city of Schenectady. She was on the very first radio broadcast with WGY. She was an actress from New York City, and when her husband got a job at Union College, they moved up here. So she is doing a whole bunch of activities in September, and one of them, so bring it, we've saved cylinder containers as much as possible, but to promote her activity, in September they're actually making with copper wire a drum, radio drums. Remember, you used to do this in the 50s. Okay, so to promote that, she's going to have an activity. Darn Good Yarn again donated this wonderful copper-colored yarn. So the kids, because of course copper is way more expensive than this yarn, but they'll wrap it around, they can decorate it, and it's just to promote her activity in September.
Oh, wonderful.
There's so much going on in Schenectady. I was thrilled that you opened the show with Civic Players. They do wonderful things. I know you're going to have Mad Science come on.
Yeah.
Mad Science has presented at Kids Arts Festival, and we love them. It's just, just wonderful.
And
Everything that's going on in Schenectady.
The theme of the festival this year is a dream, right?
Build a dream.
Build a dream.
Build a dream. And we've got large heads of famous dreamers.
And Fran couldn't be here today because she would have been wearing her big head.
Because she's
Bigger
still
head.
making the video.
Yep.
She has to finish the video
to
by
finish
tonight.
it. Oh, okay.
So,
But we also have the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King, so it ties all together too with all of that.
Yes, there will be a large head of Martin Luther King. There will also be a large head of John Lennon, another famous dreamer, and Einstein, because Einstein, most of his scientific theories came to him during dreaming.
Is that right?
Yes, of course.
No
we
idea.
research
I didn't think he
everything.
slept at all. I mean, I
know.
thought he was one of these people that was up all night.
Yes, we research everything. And then, you know, if you're into plants, I planted these a while back. I'm going to plant some more today so that kids will know when they plant the seeds what comes up.
What comes up. And this is really an educational, well, I mean, we don't want to say it's education because we want kids to think it's fun.
Learn. There's a lot of learning.
They're going to
going on.
learn,
But
but they'll be having fun.
Yep, and create community studios. They'll be there doing mural projects and things like that, which is always really fun. And they're going to have a seasonal program, just like we're going to be a series this year.
Yes.
So this is just one stop. So if you can't see us at this particular festival, you'll be able to see us several other times throughout the summer too.
I think we're doing a movie or something.
We're doing
family movie nights.
movie
Summer,
nights.
are we doing summer night?
Summer night.
Yep, but
and
July 3rd we'll be at the Maybe Farm for their
Schenectady Symphony Orchestra Independence Day concert.
Yes, and that's on the 3rd of
July with fireworks.
Which is a Tuesday.
Yeah, we will not be doing our activity during the fireworks, but we'll 5 to 7 we'll be doing the
This is
activity.
amazing,
the concert
isn't it?
starts at 7. At 9 o'clock will be the fireworks.
But poetry is all about dreaming, so that was a good
Yeah.
thing too with the grant that we got for the poetry portion this year. And so, if you want to, I know it's up on the screen, but if you go to Schenectady artsfestival.com, you can check out all the
Schenectady. I think it's
Kids Arts Festival
Kids Arts
Schenectady.
Festival,
Yeah.
Schenectady.
Kids
Kids
Arts
Arts Festival,
Festival,
Schenectady.com.
I just get the Schenectady.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, but we have, and I'll keep updating as I get.
And we also have a Facebook page, so if you can't find us online, find us on Facebook, which is great, and it gives updates for everything that you're going to be doing and who's going to be performing, because we have some great performers.
And this is I got to tell you, this is a free event.
Yep.
Get your kids, get your grandkids, get your nieces, your nephews. Bring them on down. Not only that, but you're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And adults, we have our first ever poster contest because next year's our 25th anniversary.
I know it.
And we have an age category for those over age 19. If they want to do a poster contest, they could win $100. And we have 2 other levels. So, and the poetry is open to adults. The Create Community Studios, that's open to adults.
They're located in downtown area as well.
You know, American Association of University Women, they will have all the supplies if you want to decorate your bag, because you'll have to have something to take those things.
And there'll be things to take home after you make them.
And things to eat.
Well,
the dilly bean is going to be helping kids create their dream pickle.
Right. And you can affect next year's, because the League of Women Voters is allowing you to vote for your favorite activity, and you have write-in options. So those wonderful people
making it easy for us on the committee, right?
Yeah.
We'll know exactly what to do.
What was fun, and you can actually see online what won last year. People love the sculpting and the painting and
the clay.
And then we have the banner. I noticed just outside the Addy here, we have the banner, or at least it was there last week.
Yeah, we'll have a.
Yeah.
How much more time do we have?
I don't know. I think we're about out of time.
Boys and Girls Club with clay and.
There's so much, but go to the website. You can check it out. You can find out more about it. It's from noon to 4. Noon to 4. We're going to be there early setting up tables.
But something for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And it is. And it's going to be for us, too. We're going to have a good time.
Yes. Fabulous.
We're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sorry Fran couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break. And we're going to be talking about Musicians of Malwick and their event, which is going to be at the Clink. Find out about that. Stay tuned.
I give to you a day just like today. If I had a song that I could sing for you,
Mary here, and I'm not sorry anymore. So anyway, Anne Marie, it's always good to see you.
Delighted
and
to
we
see
have
you.
our two guests. We have a composer, and we have the playwright and the composer. And Max, you're the composer.
Composer and librettist.
And how long have you been composing?
Since I started playing piano, since I couldn't read music, I would improvise.
Yeah, we just talked about that recently at another group I was with, of people
really?
that can't read music but are amazing musicians.
Well, it's a great way to learn.
Yeah, good. And let's see, Krista, you've been on the show before, I know that, or at least I've seen your name before. And you're the director and the playwright. So
I'm not the playwright.
Oh,
well,
okay. They put that
in a way. So there's the opera Alida that Max has written. He's both the librettist and the composer.
Okay.
And opening for the opera is my play. I'm directing the opera.
Okay.
My play Burden of the Ballot, which is about.
So that's what you're the playwright of.
Yes.
Okay, good.
About
So
the
you are a playwright,
anti-suffragists
yes.
in Albany.
Okay. So tell me, because I have no clue, but I see that I looked up on it to find out a little bit more about it, Anne Marie.
Okay.
So we're talking about, it's called the Alida, or the Flight of the Suff Bird Women.
Yes.
The Suff Bird Women, this has to do with suffragettes, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
So in 1916, Woodrow Wilson was in New York City with his yacht, the Mayflower, to light the first electric lights on the Statue of Liberty. And one...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All the things you learned.
I know.
And one arm of the National American Women's Suffrage Association was with him, sort of in a diplomatic role, to be there for the lighting. And then they had planned this really amazing escapade to fly over the yacht and bombard it with Votes for Women flyers. And also they had a big banner on their plane that said, "Women want liberty too." Unfortunately, it was a December day, 1916, gale force winds. They only made it about a mile before they crashed. They lived, but it's an amazing story. It shows their commitment to the suffrage movement and their bravery, I think, and it's
And we've
it's
got the
fascinating.
photos, so here.
We do.
This is
That's Lita Richburg Hornsby, who was
Okay.
the aviatrix.
Okay.
And she was, I think, the 8th female pilot trained by the Wrights, and Max can correct me if I'm not saying anything.
Actually, the first woman to graduate from the Wright Brothers Flying School, the 8th licensed female pilot in the United States.
Yeah, that's amazing, really, when you consider the time and the era that it was in to have her do that, you know.
Absolutely,
So,
and her
I mean,
plane, if you
before
saw
Amelia Earhart.
Oh, way before Amelia
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like way.
And Ruth Law had actually been approached initially to do the flight, but she was busy actually doing the other aspect of the Statue of Liberty lighting, and so they drafted Lita. And by the way, her full name is Alida, which means little winged one.
Well, that's interesting.
Which is
isn't
a
it? Yeah.
wonderful irony,
Yeah,
kind of.
It certainly is. So, Kristen, you did the play, and this is going to be before.
Yes.
Okay, and tell us about that.
So that is a one-act play that I wrote originally for historic Cherry Hill in Albany about the Rankin family who lived there. So in the moment when everyone was all aflutter about suffrage, Albany was an anti-suffrage city. It voted predominantly anti.
I am so embarrassed.
Schenectady was pro-suffrage.
So you don't have to be embarrassed.
So all good. So I was very interested in how women could be against their own enfranchisement.
I can't even imagine that.
So I did a lot of research on it and went through the fabulous archives at Cherry Hill and wrote a play that's a sort of garden party gone wrong with some antis and some suffragists.
Oh, that's clever.
So
clever way of putting it together.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So we're going to set the stage for the times with that play before the opera, so that everybody has a sense of what it was like then.
You know, I have to ask you, because you've done the research on this, why would a woman be opposed to having the right to vote?
Great
or maybe
question.
Max, I don't know. One of you might be able to.
We can both answer that probably.
Yeah.
We have different.
Because I don't understand that.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was a very strange time getting into their mindsets, and it was predominantly class-based. So Schenectady was largely an industrial city.
Yes, it was.
The working women wanted
rights.
to vote. The Schuyler's and the Van Rensselaers and the Prines were afraid they would lose their social position with more working class voters changing things.
Right?
The
Well,
Russian Revolution had just happened. Everybody was terrified of communism, terrified of the masses rising up. Women were afraid that they didn't have the knowledge necessary
Well, they were
to
told
vote.
that. Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
They were told that.
Absolutely.
You need a man.
And then other women repeated that back
Yeah.
to them, and that became
Men were the only ones that were knowledgeable that could make a decision. You know, women were just behind the kitchen.
And there was also xenophobia. There was a fear of immigrants. All of the Italians and Irish
them
voting.
as well.
Yep.
Don't we see that today, though?
It is very creepy. The parallels today that in
We don't give people credit,
1917.
I think, to make decisions and to understand the issues. Although not everybody does, but you know, you certainly hope that enough people do that they could be. So Max, so you got into doing this opera, and who's in your opera?
Well,
I mean, how many parts?
4.
4 parts.
There's the pilot, Lita Rickberg Hornsby, and there are 2 leaders of the National American Women's Suffrage Association. And then I included the reporter who covered the story, and which is our main source for the story. And he serves kind of the double role of narrator and antagonist.
So then you have the 4, and then so how long is the opera?
About 50 minutes.
Okay. Oh, good. So now the amazing thing is that you found a new location because you have a connection. The Clink, I was in the Clink in England, and that was a prison.
This is not
different
a prison. So
When I saw Clink, I'm going, no, I think I spelled it differently. But
Though some of the
Just a little
suffragists
bit,
wound
yeah.
up in jail.
Right.
That's not where we're going.
But we wanted to do the performance in Glenville because Glenville has this wonderful aviation history with the Empire Aerosciences Museum there. And so we were looking for this sort of techno site. And Chris Ketzley, who's the town supervisor, suggested Clink, and I went over last fall with Max.
Checked it out.
We checked it out, and it's a fabulous space for a variety of reasons. One is that the space itself is the old Navy Depot, and it's a huge 1940s building that looks very much like an airplane hangar, which suits our purpose. Yeah, absolutely. And then the people who run Clink are amazingly, they're beyond supportive. They are so, I think, invested in this performance, and they've just been amazing collaborators on this.
This is wonderful.
They're shutting down second shift so that we can have sort of the run of the space for
You're
the
doing
week.
it 3 times.
We're
Right?
doing it 3 times on June 8th, 9th, and 10th. They've been just instrumental in making it easy for us to be in there. They've done some very clever things with recycling bales to build a theater space
cool.
in there. It's pretty
amazing.
incredible what they've done. It really
Well,
is.
and what you've done too is you've helped them promote the space, because I had never heard of it until I had read that on yours, and then it was like, this is an amazing enterprise. So that's great. So we want to encourage people to attend this event, and you can always go to my webpage, which you'll find all the information on. It's all written up just like this on my webpage, and you can get the details there, or you can go to my Facebook page after the show when I post this, after there's might be some minor changes, and we get that on there. So there's ways of you finding out. There is a charge for this event, but it's a fundraiser also to help musicians in Melbourne.
Well, it's a regular subscription concert. It's our final for the season.
Exactly.
And 3 performances.
And you can call them. There's a phone number there that you can call, or you can go to their webpage at Musicians in Malwick, find out how to get tickets for it. But please do. And what was your bag? Show me your bag.
So we're using images as our scenery. And this is from the New York Historical Society. And you can see the women suffragists with their purple and yellow colors, which was what they used. And it's just a great representation. And I'll give you a taste.
I love this. Well-behaved women seldom make history. I
This is
love
true.
that. Okay, good. Go, women. Go. Okay, good. And we did get the vote, so let's give them a hand for doing that for
Yes,
us as well.
absolutely.
We're going to take another quick break. Thank you both, all three of you for being here. Max, congratulations on being a composer and a librettist and making wonderful things happen and bringing music and joy to our lives. And thank you as well. And your play sounds wonderful, too. Great. We're going to take a quick break, and we are going to be talking about the importance of being earnest by Oscar Wilde. Stay tuned.
Oh, we at the store tomorrow. Oh,
If you don't pull it up straight tall, then it just looks like the middle of the
Anthony, you afraid of the clown? Don't worry, he's not Anthony. Yeah, right. You heard don't get along like that. Yeah, all right, I'll wait for you.
I'm always amazed when I see those people with those balloons and they get them and they make it look like it's something. I don't know. But we certainly have three guests. Pat Casey, your costumer. Do you do balloons?
No, just the
costumes.
costumes.
Good. And then we have two of the actors. We have Madeline here. Thank you, Madeline. And you've been on the show before, Tyler. I know that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the importance of being earnest and Oscar Wilde's play. I mean, it's such classic theater, isn't it? So
Yes,
tell
it
us. Let's start with Tyler over there at the end, and we'll work across.
Well, written by Oscar Wilde, like you said. I think it's a really good play, and a lot of the jokes stand the test of time, I guess you could say. There are some things that you can tell it was written in, the era it was written in, but I think a lot of it still is really funny. And would you agree? Like,
What's it about, Madeline?
I like to say it's like a Victorian rom-com where
I love that.
there's all kinds of, I don't know, intrigue, I guess. There's romance, obviously. It's comedy. Where people are pretending to be other people. There's confusion over that. And they're just
those are usually called farces when they have that kind of a thing going on.
All kinds of farces. And it's really about like the society that Wilde saw at the time, where he wrote about what he saw, and he like.
And when was this written?
Oh, in the Victorian era. I'm not sure what year, but it's all about how society. It's called a trivial comedy for serious people.
Okay.
So it's all about how
For
trivial,
serious people.
how trivial everything they thought was so important really was.
Yeah. And that happens today, even.
Oh yeah.
So Pat, so since it's Victorian, are you
Yeah.
doing this as a Victorian costume?
Oh yes, yes. That was one of the appeals for me because the play is set in 1895.
Okay.
So we're transitioning out of the end of the Victorian era, which lasted a long time.
And Victorian, it
And
was like they had to
moving on.
cover everything that could be covered
80
was
years,
covered.
so yeah. So, but the appeal of this was the time period, because I really liked doing those period pieces as opposed to modern day costume.
Yeah.
So the fun is doing the research to look up what was the fashion of the day, the women's fashions, the men's fashions. Things as simple as a tie or a vest can kind of set the mood.
And I did see a book once on costumes by year, you know,
Yes,
that you could go
yes.
through and see what
and the internet.
Yeah.
You can find almost anything you want there now. So, between that kind of research and knowing that there are other costume theater companies around that have costumes that I can borrow from.
Well, Civic Theater, I couldn't believe they have 50,000 costumes.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
And I've been in their costume room.
Oh, I have.
Believe me, it's 50,000. Can you even believe that?
Thanks to Joe Fava, I was able to borrow a few things that we're using in our show, as a matter of fact. And other costume, Connie Rauhauser.
I know, she's great.
Connie has a collection of her own things that she has built. So between that and making a few things and borrowing from, of course, Schenectady Light Opera Company's collection, you know, we were able to bring that period to life.
How many in this show?
Oh gosh, I forget.
Oh, when she says, "Oh gosh," it means you've got a lot of costumes to deal with.
No, actually, this is a very simple play to costume because they all have one costume per act, and you know, so there's two sets of costumes for everybody, and for some, there's one because they're only in one part of the show or the other, which is much easier to deal with than shows at Schenectady Light Opera, which have 30 people.
Oh, I know.
And
I've
15
seen the costume changes.
Yeah.
One person is playing 8 parts.
So that was another thing that drew me to this, is the fact that it's a very manageable size cast.
That's great. Now we need to tell people where this is going to be held. It'll be held at the Sand Lake Center for the Arts. If you haven't been there, they have like a black box theater, and it's a lovely theater to work in, as well as. And I'm sure that staging, it'll be a simple stage, right?
Yes, relatively.
Because usually, I think you can get a lot by suggesting rather than actually doing a complete setup of the stage.
Right.
And this is going to be held, let's get the dates out there. It's going to be held starting on the 1st of June, ending on the 10th. And you do have matinees for people who prefer to go in the afternoon.
On Sundays.
Two Sunday matinees. You're going to feel, if you go to the theater, you're going to feel like you're part of it because you're close to the stage. And there's not a bad seat anywhere.
No. Not at Sand Lake.
Not at Sand Lake. Okay, and Tyler, just to go back to you, how long have you been acting? I know you're young, but still, how long?
Well, I've been acting for probably since I was 8. I've been in like youth programs with the center and other places, but the first play I did at the center was in 5th grade. I did On Golden Pond. And
you did On Golden Pond? Oh my God.
I played Billy, and I was 10 at the time, but Billy was 13, but they said it worked. So.
Close enough, it worked for theater. And so Madeline, and how about you?
I've been into theater since I was in 10th grade, so not quite as long.
So you kind of get into your blood a little bit.
Yeah. And I played a burglar, I think, in a 1-act play. And then it kind of went on from there. But this is one of my favorite plays, so I'm really excited
this is exciting.
Yeah.
So, and are you going to major, or have you majored in that, or what are you thinking of majoring in?
I'm majoring in anthropology, actually.
Anthropology.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So not really
anthropology.
super related.
But you can always act on the side.
Exactly.
How about you, Tom?
I major in biological sciences over at Hudson Valley.
Yes, I love that. Good STEM out there. Good. And what are you majoring in?
No. Retirement.
No. When you're in theater, you never retire.
I know. I've learned that.
So we do want to encourage you to go out over to Averill Park. It's easy to find. It's right on the highway, and it's a former church. Beautiful place. They have an art exhibit out in front, or in the lobby usually, so you can check it out and get your tickets early. I think that this is a play that's going to be sold out pretty quickly.
I hope so. I hope so. They worked very hard on it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Please say hi to Joan and Brian too as well. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be looking at some mad science. I don't know how mad that's going to be. I love science, so stay tuned.
Once you get it home, it's all your something to do.
Look, they're making stamp book cards. You put little stamp. Pretty butterfly.
Oh, can you get a what?
Some scoops. What colors do you want, Butch? What do you want? Yeah.
right, we're gonna head out. How are you?
Yeah. What is this?
These are all aquatic insects, aquatic larvae. These ones here are mayfly. These here are stonefly. And this is a dobson fly. Right here. And then a crayfish there. These ones need very, very clean water with lots of oxygen. They're very good to see.
And here?
The dobson fly. Here. These are the natural habitat where you find them. These are all from Schenectady Creek in Burtonsville. So this is just from the bottom.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
If you hold up the right answer, you're going to take 2 steps forward.
Well, the Kids Art Festival, as we talked about earlier, leans a lot on science and a number of things. And I know that Margaret has been there 1 year, I think, as well. But we're talking about getting kids interested up through like 5th grade, 6th grade in science. It's kind of like maybe they just don't quite understand, or they're fascinated by it, but they're not. So you have even a series of a summer series.
Yes.
Yeah, coming up as well.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what you're going to show us today and show us and amaze even the adults.
So we have a couple of cool demonstrations, and a lot of which you're actually able to do at home. So we'll start with this guy. This actually...
those are, those floaters, or what do they use them for?
So it's actually a demonstration of centripetal force. So I'm going to do 2 demonstrations of centripetal force. So
centripetal or centrifugal?
Centripetal.
There's 2 different kinds.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
So this is centripetal force, and this actually is made out of 1 piece of thin metal, and the whole point is it wants to stick to the center. So Anne, if you want to do me a favor and hold your hand out, and then I'm just going to do this, and then put your hand down.
Well, I got a bracelet on, so that's kind of creating a problem because it's okay.
And then,
good.
Yep.
And that shows how, is it gravitational, does it?
Yes. So it's centripetal force. Everything is wanting to go and stay towards the center.
Right.
So
and centrifugal is when it goes to the outside.
Yes. So I have another demonstration. I just have some clear slime here.
Oh my goodness, that is slimy.
So I'm going to put it on this little plate, and I'm actually going to swing it around. So this is kind of like, both of these are kind of like demonstrations of centripetal and centrifugal. Yep, force.
They use a centrifuge when they take the blood out of certain things. They'll use
pull out the plasma. Yes. So it's kind of like if you've ever been to a fair and there's that ride that they put you up against the wall of,
and the bottom floors out.
Yep, and you spin, and
I've
it
been
pushes
in that,
you against the wall.
That's really weird feeling when you look down and the floor's gone.
Yes. So this is a similar concept. So a lot of times when we do this demonstration in camp, kids think the slime is going to come off, but it's going to stay because of the force. So I'm just going to begin swinging it in a circle. And the slime is staying.
Not because it's stuck on there, but because it will stay.
Of the force. Yep, absolutely.
So that's centrifugal.
Yes.
And this is
centripetal. Yes. All right, so another demonstration I have for you is, this is always a fun one for kids and adults to play.
And that looks like a ping pong ball.
It is. It's a ping pong ball in a wine glass. And again, this is something you guys can do at home. So Anne, if you want to help me out.
I'd love to help you out.
You can hold the wine glass.
I can do that.
What you have to do is you want to try and make the ball go in the air without moving your hands.
Wait a minute, without moving my hand.
So you can use some wind force to help you out.
So if I go like, but that doesn't work.
Give it a try.
No, I don't have enough wind in me, although I've been told otherwise.
There you go, you're starting to get it.
Oh, it does work.
Perfect.
But I do like the idea of trying. Well, this is centrifugal force.
Yes, yes.
Although it doesn't really work too well.
Yeah, it's because it's not a
because
perfectly
of the shape.
round shape.
Yeah, okay, good. And that's making noise. So anyway, so we used wind to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I have another experiment. So this is goldenrod paper, and goldenrod paper about 30 years ago was made without dyes. It was actually made using an acid-based solution. And so this is now special goldenrod paper. You buy goldenrod paper at Staples, it's not going to work this way.
And it's a color, but it's also
a pH indicator.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll test acids or bases.
Yep.
So I'm going to write a secret message to Anne using just wax from a candle, and you won't be able to see it.
Uh-oh.
But I can use an acid-base reaction in order to make it visible. So I wrote a message. You can't see anything, but if I spray it with a basic solution, and this is just some baking soda. It's a baking soda solution.
And that's got a high pH.
Yep, a basic pH. All right, so it's giving me a hard time, so I'm just going to splash a little on.
Well, sometimes those things.
All right, and so my message is starting to appear.
Is that like when they put lemon juice on, when they used to do secret writing and
Yes.
they put lemon juice?
Mad messages. So I actually wrote hi Ann, but I don't want to make too much of a mess.
Yeah,
but you
but
can
I can see that
where
it's
the
coming
wax
through, yeah.
actually made a secret message.
Yes.
So if my spray had been working, you would have been able to see the
Yeah,
whole
because
secret
I can see it
message.
right there. There's my A and
Yes.
the N. Yeah,
Yep,
hi, and
yep.
there's an HI at the end.
All right.
Okay, so that's a good way to send a secret message.
It is. So, and actually, if I had vinegar, I could spray it, and it would make it go back to the plain.
Right, the plain.
Yep.
And it all has to do with the pH. And
Yes.
the pH shows the lower the number, the more acid it is,
Yes.
and the higher number, the more basic it is.
You got it. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. So I just have something fun here that we do in a birthday party, and it's just a cool demonstration. This is just plain water, I swear.
Uh-oh, it is.
I'm drinking
Not
it.
vinegar.
No. So I'm just going to pour some water in this beaker here, and I'm going to, what color is this? I mean, what color does it look like?
You don't want to ask me.
Oh, it's blue.
Okay, I'm colorblind.
Okay.
I really
I'm
am.
sorry, Ann. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so
I really
it's
am.
blue. It is blue. All right. So I'm going to add it to the beaker, and I want you to make sure that I'm actually putting it in.
Okay. Yep, I see it going in. Yes, and it does look blue to me now.
Okay. So do
Not
you see
very
blue anymore?
No, I don't.
So it's disappearing ink.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just a cool trick to play. So you can actually, it only disappears in water. If I put it on paper, you'll still see it. But
Disappearing ink.
Disappearing ink, yes.
It has to do with pH? That's
No,
doing it? No?
no, it's just a gag.
It's a gag. I mean,
All right.
oh no.
All right. So last one. Are your tastes good? Can you taste things?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
taste things.
So did you know that your taste is linked to both your sight and your smell?
Yes, and,
Okay.
I've seen experiments where they have them smell one thing and taste something else, and they
Right, totally different. All right, so I have a lollipop here, and I need you to. Are you okay taking the lollipop from me?
Sure.
Okay, so you're gonna close your eyes and plug your nose.
Oh my! Plug my nose too.
Plug your
Okay,
nose.
Okay.
So we're Xing out two of her senses here. I'm gonna hand you a lollipop in your other hand,
Okay.
and I want you to see if you can taste what it is. Does it taste like anything?
It tastes. There's a sweetness to it, but
No.
no, like a fruit. I think fruit.
All right, you can unplug. It's actually bubble gum.
Oh, bubble gum.
So it's a cool trick, cool science trick to use at home.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. So
Now, what changed that I could?
So your tastes are linked to both your
But
olfactory
I don't-
senses.
I don't think I'm smelling it.
No, but the taste it goes up through the nasal canal, and so they're connected. Your nose and your
Definitely
taste
bubble
buds
gum, but
are
I
connected.
did not. I knew it was sweet. It tasted sweet.
Yes.
Because it must have. And if you look at your tongue, it's like sour is one place, sweetness is, and salt
Bitter.
is
Yep,
another.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a cool trick that you can do at home. If you block out both of those senses, it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to taste anything.
Well, and I know that I've seen the experiments where they had people taste like soda, but they had them smell, and there's something like
it alters
they
it.
totally can't figure out what they're tasting.
Right. And so it's kind of, we also taste with our eyes. Do you remember clear Pepsi?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nobody liked it because they couldn't.
Right. So we have an idea that Pepsi or cola should be brown, and the fact that it was clear, we couldn't taste
We were
Pepsi.
expecting 7-Up or something
exactly.
else.
So we taste with both our eyes and our nose and our taste buds.
Yeah.
All right. So one more.
So
quick
if you
thing.
lose any one of those, that's why sometimes people that get more elderly, they don't even want to eat because because one of their senses is off.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yes.
And then that's why things don't taste right to
Right.
them.
Right.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. All right, so one last one, and again, this is one that you guys can make at home with the help of a parent or an adult. So this is just a water bottle with a little bit of water. I'm just going to add some cooking oil, and you can use any type of cooking oil. It really doesn't matter.
And they will not be mixable.
Nope, they won't mix. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up an Alka-Seltzer tablet, about half of one, and I'm going to put it in here and put the cap on. And what we're actually going to see is a pretty cool reaction.
And Alka-Seltzer is a bubbly thing.
Yes. So it's releasing carbon dioxide right now. And so you see the oil is one separate layer, and you see the water is one separate layer. So you can actually add food coloring if you want, but you're making a lava lamp. And it's actually more obvious if you
put a light underneath it.
Put a light underneath it. And I must have, okay. So it may be hard to see
so
because
much
it's
light
super
here,
bright here, but you can actually create your own lava lamp at home using ingredients that are probably already there.
And you could just keep adding more Alka-Seltzer to
Yes.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool. And that bubbles right up. That's what a lava lamp is.
Yes.
I'll be darned. Didn't know that. Well, I mean, I didn't have a lava lamp. I guess if I had, I would have probably taken it apart and tried to figure out why it's doing it. But so you've got a number of experiments that are pretty simple to do.
Yes.
And what allows kids to understand a little bit more about science, but not, I mean, they need to explore more of this. Now, when you do your classes, and these are being held at the Pine Grove Church over on Central Avenue.
Yep, we have one full-day camp at Pine Grove United Methodist Church, but we have a number of other half-day camps held throughout the Capital District, Albany Jewish Community Center, Schenectady County Community College, HVCC, Queensbury Parks and Rec. So we're all over.
You're all over the
summer.
place.
Yes.
Okay, and what would kids? What age groups are you dealing with?
So for the most part, some of the camps are segregated by K2 and 3-5, but our main focus is a K5 population.
I'll bet what you do is just gets the kids, their eyes just light right up.
Yeah, because it's cool stuff. They can play, and they actually, like you were talking about earlier, they're playing and they don't realize it's educational.
That's what we do with the Kids Art Festival. I'm just take a quick second here to tell who's coming up next week. We have the Electric City Barn. The Electric City Barn is like a collaborative with artists, and it's a place they can get together and talk about their things and actually set up sculptures and things like that where they can actually work. We're going to talk about the Empire State Aerosciences Museum, another great place for kids, right? And they're putting the Concorde together. This is a half-size model of the Concorde that was hanging in Times Square in New York City. And it was moved up here. They took it apart and brought it up here, and they're putting it together again. It's going to be right out in front. And then we're going to be talking about the Kelly Adirondack Center. If you don't know where that is, that's in Niskuna. So lots of good stuff going on. You know, we live in a very rich area, Margaret, where there is so much science, I think. We have the MySci, and I'm sure you've been there to see what they've done there to increase kids' knowledge of the sciences. Yeah. I want you to get those girls thinking science because you and I are both science people, and we want to see more of girls getting into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I wish you luck with your wonderful experiments with kids and having them learn more about science and maybe piquing their interest into being scientists like we ended up being.
Absolutely.
Right? I love science. Just got to love it. Thanks for watching. I'm Ann Perillo.